daggers are gnarly in this game. Any enemy that has daggers, you should be very, very, very suspicious of them, because daggers have a massive chance to stack up bleeds on an opponent, and if you get a couple of those bleeds going, it's going to be a little bit of a nightmare to get rid of it. There were a lot of enemies over here. I'm a little bit stressed right now. We picked up some wood. That's going to be a crafting good right there. Potions on the shelves, some narine, which I can use for making health potions. We've got a potion over there too. I do have alchemy. I haven't worked on it a whole lot because it requires a little bit more farming than a lot of the other trade skills. I don't naturally find the things that I need in order to level up alchemy. I actually have to contrive an adventure and go find them, which is perfectly fine. That's not a complaint. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, 5 hours into this playthrough. I also don't have a lot of the techniques I need in order to do really, really good alchemy, and so I need to get to it. I need to start working on it, but I haven't done it yet. Another goblin rogue, huh? He swapped me out. If I could get a stun right here, that'd be fantastic. Where'd he go? He vanished on me again. There he is. He's actually pretty resistant to being stunned. At the moment, I've got a decent amount of cash. I've also got backup weapons because your equipment, it degrades. It doesn't have explicit durability that it's like, it has this many uses till it breaks. But it does break kind of randomly, so you'll want to keep an eye on it. I'm going to fight this goblin ogre hybrid over here. We killed him before he got his nasty abilities off because there's a wizard back there. And I need him to pull over to... Oh, there's two wizards. Not great. Okay, I'll jump in over here then. That's all my stamina gone. We are actively losing health right now, though, because we're standing inside his little warp field thing that he puts on the ground. I had a necklace that dispels. It gave me 75% resistance to all hexes. Anything that has like a purple spell graphic is a hex from what I've been able to tell so far. And I had that on, but it came with a curse, unfortunately. So, like, I had to have that on, but it made me heal super slowly, so I ended up getting rid of it. It's sitting in my chest back at my house right now. I do have a cooking bench over here, but I don't think that I have much to cook at the moment. We may be able to dig something out of one of these meat bags, though. We need to be careful, because there's a lot of blood on the floor of the dungeon. There's these things called Ravagers. I guess I should explain the universe's lore. So if there's too much blood on a map, it will spawn a thing that's called a blood leech. It will tell you up here in the event log that a blood leech has spawned. You gotta find the blood leech and you gotta kill it. Otherwise, it'll make a big cocoon in like one corner of the dungeon, and a Ravager, which is effectively a xenomorph, will spawn out of that. And Ravagers are a giant headache that can basically torpedo an entire dungeon for you if you're not ready for them. Like, they can become these guardsmen that lock you out of a dungeon entirely just by their presence. And so I would prefer to not have any Ravagers on grid right now. I would really, really prefer that. We've been netted by the goblin down here. There does seem to be pretty decent enemy variety inside the context of the game from what I've seen so far. Think about how many different goblins you've seen just in this run. There's alchemy goblins, there's rogue goblins, there's bruiser goblins, there's, you know, magic goblins, there's goblins with harpoons that try to, like, tack you down sort of gladiator style with a net. There's stealing goblins that will pick up any loot off the ground that you've been too slow to pick up and run off with it. There's goblin kings, there's goblin sergeants. And there are many factions in this game. There's not just goblins. For example, there's a berserker barbarian faction as well, and they've got a bunch of different characters. There's tons of wildlife that lives in the world of this game, everything from turkeys to bees. There's a lot of enemy variety here, and the cool thing is, what is he? The Gremlin Shaman Elder. Okay.
I want this game.
Oh, he put down a big grid. That's a little concerning. I can't say I'm in love with it. Is that gonna go away? He is gonna step in on me. I'll see if I can stun lock him a little bit and fight our way out of this hole we're in. We got pretty close to death right there. I'm going through boiled eggs like a maniac. We got 2 foods on right now. Get a little HP back, Stypticus, and an elderberry. I think elderberries help with healing. They do, yeah. Elderberries are like basically miniature health potions. So there we go. Gave me like 6 health back per elderberry. Let's save our game real quick. The game does save whenever you enter a new floor. I need to jump down to here to get out of his AoE. We'll stun him up a little bit. I think I got some bludgeon levels and stuff to spend too. Some nice big beefy crits right there. You love to see it. I've also got like a nice portfolio of potions at the moment that hopefully I'll be able to do something with. Rat tail inside of there. That's usable by alchemy. Pass a turn or two. There we go. Turns have been passed. What is that? Oh no. I may have just released something. What I released, I don't know. It might be an ogre, it might be a dragon. Sometimes these gremlins, they have creatures that their hunters have captured, and they've got them inside these giant golden cages, and I didn't recognize the switch sprite, and so I just hit the switch, so that thing's now loose in the dungeon, whatever it is. It's almost universally not a good thing. Oh, I've been stunned. Okay, alright. Knock him out. If you're wondering what those things are that are falling out of the goblins when I kill them, those little like squiggle monster things on the ground, the main storyline quest as it stands right now is that goblin kind is being taken over by kind of like this brain fungus. And so mankind and gremlins have gotten along for a long time. They don't like each other, but they don't actively try to murder each other either. The brain fungus is making the gremlins crazy, and they are now attacking all of the other races on the map. And so that's why I'm down in the gremlin fortress right now, is because I heard that there was a magical artifact down here. Oh, there's another one. I heard there was a magical artifact down here that was going to, I could give it to a scientist or like an alchemist, and he could help us figure out what's going on with the goblins. I don't know if there's more storyline after that. I haven't been doing a lot of the storyline because I've been doing lots of the procedurally generated quests to level up. And now I'm at like level 15. I got stomped out by a level 20 guy like instantly when I was level 4. And so I dedicated wholly to the task of leveling up as fast as possible. We got a couple armors in there. That's good. I'll go ahead and take that. Things in this game can be broken down and salvaged into base parts that you can use to repair your equipment. You can see here that my war club is now in worn condition. That means that there's no DPS decrease or anything else like that, but it does mean that it can break at any moment, and then there will actively be a DPS decrease. Get the stink horns down there. Level up my alchemy a little bit. We collected stagnant water from the well. That's probably for a quest, would be my guess. For water, oh my god, what is that thing? I don't even know what that is. Okay. I don't know if it's wiser to jump into them at this point, or if it's wiser to stay back. Let's start with you. Wipe you. Oh, there's another one over there. This may be really, really bad for us. Yeah, I gotta stay out of this AoE. My weapon broke officially, so actually I think it's time to run away. Let's go ahead and get away from him real fast, because I gotta go back to town and fix my gear. We'll jump over to here to get a little bit of a gap on him. There we go. Once we're clear of monsters, you can press B at any time to just like leave the dungeon if you want. I gotta find a spot where I can do it though. It may be because they're aggroed. I'll go back up to, oh, he cut through over there. Little champ. Alright, we'll go back up to this floor and then we'll escape the dungeon real fast. I'm gonna go back to town and fix my stuff. We've got a lot of loot and things to break down anyways, so it's not that big of a deal. This is a small town. One of the new features the game has is that each of these towns has a prosperity, and you also have a reputation with these towns, with these factions, and when you get your reputation up, good things happen. And I've actually gone through and I've gotten my reputation up to max with one of them, so you can see the kind of potential bonuses you get. So with the Verdant Guard over here, oh, there is a bug I need to report though. Whenever there's a battle, you get reputation for joining a side in that battle. However, if you go out and you farm, you know, chickens or bees or whatever on the battle map after you get done with the battle, it gives you reputation for every single kill, as though you're still in the battle. But you get a 30% discount from this faction, which is great. You can buy a house, which I do own one back in the main city. You get more town services, and as the prosperity of these towns go up from you doing their random quests, they will get more shops. These empty derelict buildings right here, they will fill in with new shops, and then the shops will also carry more goodies. I've got a level up ready to rock right now, so I may as well take this as an opportunity to show you what a level up looks like. You take a deep sleep, you'll get a dream, and then you'll get 2 skill points that will give you 2 free level ups for any of these skills that you want without you having to go out and actually do the task itself. I've been focusing on becoming more literate because the books in this game seem to be really strong, and they seem to give you a lot of big buffs that'll help out later on in the game. And so I've been working on my literacy, but I can put these into whatever the hell I want. I was just talking about alchemy, so if I wanted to level alchemy more quickly, level ups in this game, they act as sort of a method by which to achieve that madness. If there's something you're trying to power level, you can use your skill points on it, but it will also level up through usage. We probably also want to put points in chivalry because it's kind of a pain to level up. And so I'll go up to level 10 chivalry. This game has JRPG rules from the 90s. You can loot anybody's house that you want. There's usually not anything crazy inside of there, but you can do it if you desire to do so. I'll travel over to this place. We're a little bit hungry too. I think I'm going to have to cook off some food. We may need to raid somebody's farm. Is there an alchemist in this town? If there's an alchemist, I need him to identify my potions too. Well, we'll start off with trade skills. Let's get that done before we do anything else. So we can go over to this weapon bench over here, and we can disassemble the dual shanks. We can disassemble a scrapwork sword. We can break down a padded coat. Savage body gives 20 physical resist. That's pretty good, but it's not quite as good as what I have right now in my thorn mail, so I'll keep holding on to the thorn mail. And we will get rid of the shield right there, and I should have enough to repair my weapon now. There we go. So I fixed my weapon. I don't have a lot of crafting recipes for the basic workbench as of right now, maybe someday. But I do have quite a few cooking recipes. Unfortunately, I haven't really picked up anything to cook. So it may not be a bad idea for us to actually free roam on one of the open world maps and start gathering some cooking ingredients, because I'm going through my food pretty rapidly in that gremlin dungeon. It's a little bit stiffer competition. Oh, never mind. I got a whole bunch of stuff to cook in here. All right, well, give me all my cooking ingredients, and let's see what we can whip together from what we've got on hand. I think I've got some oil right there, too. We've got honey. We've got daisies. All right, so now that I've got all my cooking ingredients on me, we can go down to a cooking bench, and it looks like actually all that I can make right now are roasted haunches, which is a little bit unfortunate. But if I can get some eggs and taters, we might be in good shape. And I think I've got an idea where I can get those eggs and taters. So farmers on the map, they don't really care if you go through their farm and you loot their stuff. And so I'm going to go up to this farm up here in the top left corner. Hopefully I can avoid getting clomped on by enemies. This area was kind of hostile earlier. This place is now destitute, huh? Where was that farm at? Oh, there it is. Okay, there's a gremlin army over there, too, that we'll want to watch out for. Normally, they're not hostile, though. The barbarians will directly come after you, but they might not. Are these potatoes? They're onions. I don't really need onions. I need potatoes. But I will take those real fast. And then we got some eggies over here, too. I grab a few eggs. Eggs are good. Just borrow them from over on this side. I would prefer that you not be able to loot their farm and you actually have to buy things from the farmer, and then it would raise the prosperity of the farm. That feels more interactive to me, but like, I don't really care either way too. I also enjoy I like my free loot. I guess we get some flour. I don't know how to do baking though, so I can't make an apple pie over there. Maybe I'll try to pick up some potatoes. There's a hammersmith over here, which I've been looking for, actually. I don't know how I missed this guy. I went back to town to buy potatoes. Where's the hammersmith?
You know, I've always thought it should be, you can walk up and take a few wheat plants, you know? Make yourself a loaf of bread that day. You know, make some flour and stuff. And I don't think the farmer would mind if you were just like, if you took like, you know, a few plants and was like, yeah, I'm just here to just to get by for the day. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. But if you were to try and chop down like half a crop or something, you would get chased out with pitchforks. That's the way I've always thought it should have been. Or like, yeah, the farmer doesn't really care if you come and take like mushrooms maybe or corn, kind of like Lord of the Rings, you know. But if you're there like chopping his crop down, I think you should get the pitchfork response, you know. Which is kind of greedy, and they don't usually do that sort of thing in video games, and they should. Property values, I don't know. They're hard.
Is he just like walking around town? Oh boy, it's pretty empty here. Are there any quests or anything? Oh, wow. I guess the town must have got attacked too much, and now it's just like a derelict. Is anybody inside any of these buildings? Doesn't look like it. Unfortunate. We gotta get people to move back over here. I may need to, like, defend this place. It's not the worst idea, maybe, to go through all the empty cabinets, though, and grab the money that's laying around. I sort of very much like that you can come across villages like this that are... Oh, there's a guy. Dilvin the Guard, dedicated to protecting the town. What town? There's nobody even here. It's completely and totally empty.
I like this game, and I will buy it.
He didn't do too good of a job. Now, normally we would do a bunch of quests in order to boost these guys' popularity.
It looks like utter crap
in
terms of the graphics,
I would love to buy. I've been using this magic log right here that I've been beating people to death with. It gives me a free turn every 10 turns in combat. Most of my combats don't last that long, but it does give some nice bonuses aside from that. But I've been in the market, now that I have a bunch of money, I've been in the market for buying a new one. Like a new magical dope hammer that is beyond reproach, and unfortunately, that's the only hammersmith around, so till the town comes back to life, I think we're just gonna have to wait it out. I would like it if the towns had a tab, like when you right-click on them, that tells you what services are available in that town.
Yeah, that's a real problem.
I spend a lot of time wandering around being like, was this
one thing?
Luckily, travel, once you've leveled up a little bit, is not altogether that unappealing. When you first start the game out, your character has bad travel skill, and so bad things happen. But my travel skill has gotten higher, so I need this guy to identify my potions. There we go. 30 bucks, and he'll identify all my potions. So I got 3 rat sluck. It's not that great. We've got 2 dada-doo-doos, which increase our damage. It's like a berserker thing. We got some mud milk right there, which makes us heal faster for 20 turns. So basically the same thing as eating a meal. Sometimes people have quests for these little goblin potions, and they'll be posted on the job board. We might be able to just, like, deliver that now and make it happen. As far as quests go, it's pretty simple Battle Brothers stuff. Most of the quests are going to be like, go kill a guy, deliver a thing. You know, sometimes they want you to hand out advertisement pamphlets, so you're basically the little guy on the street corner with the sign. There'll be people that want you to bring them random items that you can only get inside of dungeons. And so they'll be like, bring me a dirty water and I will reward you. What do you have? Do you have potatoes? Nobody has potatoes, man. You're breaking my heart right now. There's berries. I could make fruit tarts, maybe. But I don't know about baking. Okay. Well, I'll just roast off some haunches then. I need yeast for that, too, and I don't have yeast. But we did level up our cooking right there, which is great. So we'll go to our cooking, and I'll probably learn. I've got 1 point right there. I'd like to learn baking. That would be nice. So that's made it so I can do the fruit tart, and I can do umski, and I need vegetable cutting and pie making in order to make an apple pie. Okay, that's fine. There will also be special vendors in the middle of town, like this guy right here. These special vendors, they travel from town to town, and they have very specific, like, gear sets or, like, really rad things on them that cost a lot of money. So, for example, this guy right here has Bone Splint, which is made out of ogre bones, and it'll give me 25 physical resist. That's a 25% damage reduction to anything physical. It lowers my chance of bleeding, crippling, and being hit by missiles by quite a lot, and that's stacking, and it does that without any kind of encumbrance penalty, which is really, really nice. And so by the time you max out this set, you should be a titan. You should be effectively unstoppable. So now, having taken a minute to get my encumbrance down so that I'm not overweight anymore, I think we're about ready to go back to the dungeon. But we've got a map event over here. When traveling, there's always a chance that something will go wrong and you'll be attacked on the road. We're in the middle of a wilderness tile right now, so I'm not that worried about it. At the beginning of the game, this would have been a terrifying encounter that may have led to our death. But at this point, it's just XP farm. Like, these guys can't even really hurt me anymore. There are things on these procedural maps, by the way, and you can drop down onto these maps whenever you want. You can build camps on them so that you have like a waypoint in between like long hustles in order to rest. There will be, there you go, right there. So we've got a number of alchemical ingredients over there that we could gather from beside the water. You may occasionally find more interesting things. So one time while I was walking around in the wilderness, I found access to a fairy grove. There was a bunch of ponds with fairies in them. And so you could harvest the fairy water, and the fairy water that was in the ponds is basically like a regeneration potion, and it sells for a lot of money, like 25 bucks. If you take it back to town, I think I found 6 or 7 of them, and I made a bunch of money off of it. Lots of iguanas around here, too. You can pick up wood off the ground if you need it for crafting or building or whatever else. There's lots of little things that you can interact with. I tend to come around here because I need these narine. I think these are narine? No, those are lily weeds. Okay. I haven't memorized all the sprites yet, but I am planning on doing a whole bunch of alchemy in the future, so I need to gather berries, and I need to gather some other things from this map. So let me tool around for a minute. There's some right there. It's not very many, but it levels up my survival skill. I was hoping I would find more. And you need these to make health potions, and they are the thing that I've been lacking. Is that you need berries and you need narine to start firing off health potions and level up alchemy. And I do want to level up alchemy because there's some really good potions in this game that will like teleport you to a different spot in the dungeon if you get yourself in over your head. There's potions that'll let you go invisible and disengage from a combat. I've been poisoned by an iguana. Unfortunate, because that's my last antidote. RIP. Hey, more berries laying around, though. We may actually be good on this. Go ahead and eat a couple foods. Survival level 4. You love to see it. Now I kind of want to go back to town and do my alchemy. I may. I don't think we'll level up more than once or twice off of what I've currently got on me. But let's go level up our alchemy real fast. And you can explore any of these tiles that you want. You just hit this big explore button down here in the bottom right-hand corner. Every single one of these tiles, just like Caves of Cud, is a place that you can interact with that has stuff and things in it. So, fun there. Nice thing about that being, of course, that if you feel like you're too weak, the weakest enemies are almost universally just on world map tiles. So just cruise around on a world map tile and kick the crap out of some weak enemies until you're feeling stronger. And then use that time to level up, you know, all of your various things. Oh, I'm making energy potions. I wasn't making minor respites. I need aloe vera for that. And I haven't found aloe vera yet. I'm guessing it's in a different biome. Either way, we leveled up our alchemy just off making 2 of those little potions right there. So let's get a new technique. Apparently I can learn to do sublimation. Okay. Sure. That's unlocked the Rogue's Toxin, which allows me to take Spider Fangs and Stinkhorn in order to poison my weapon and give the enemy a venomous surprise for 16 hits. Poison's a little bit less reliable than bleed. It doesn't always tick for damage. Sometimes they resist it. But it might be useful. I don't know if I have any spider fangs around. I don't think I've been fighting a lot of spiders. Yeah, I don't have one. I do have a magic Berserker's Helm, though. I swapped it out for a better defensive option, but the Berserker's Helm gave us a lot of really fun bonuses that make our character pretty strong. And so I've been kind of on the fence about whether or not I want to use it. Back down to the dungeon, and let's see if we can finish this bad boy. Unfortunately, there's no way to instantly skip straight to the dungeon level that you were actively working on previously. I do hope that that's a feature that they add to the game, is that if you've cleared a dungeon level, you can just automatically skip down to lower levels. That would be very... Ooh, 2 raw meats. Nice. Get those right there. Mole meats, don't care about that. Rat tail, don't really care about that, but I will roast off some of that meat right there just to get its weight down and keep leveling up our cooking. A couple of potion goblins down here, which is a little bit horrifying. I'm going to jump in on him. Oof. If I get kited here, that's not going to be good. These guys being able to get damage off on me is a big problem. I'm just going to ignore you and focus on other threats, because those little fungi, they can't move. We got him stunned up. Oh, 15 damage crit right there. Ouch. Enemy getting very lucky with some crits right now. Luckily, we got lucky with a stun right there, but man... I was going to say, if we don't solve this soon, we got a problem. We picked up a burn from the potion he threw at me. I need to eat some food. Let's get an elderberry in us, because that'll heal us pretty fast on a roasted haunch. We'll move up this way, and I got to get rid of this spawner before it puts more goblins on me. The good news is goblin spawners give you a ton of XP, so they're really, really nice. Leveling up in this game is not that difficult. You'll get a lot of levels. Just stick with it. Peasant pot. That's a recipe that I don't have. That'll be good. Might make use of some things. What else we got laying around here? I don't have anything to salvage right now, so I'm not gonna. We do need to get some health back, and then I need to use a soothing balm on that burn to get my HP, which is permanently reduced until I use a salve on it. Let's go check these guys' loot. I'm guessing they mostly just have unidentified goblin potions. We might be able to sell them back in town. This guy right here, I'll finish him off real quick too. There we go, finish him. We can rest if we want. You don't get HP back from resting. It's not a thing. So it just gets rid of your travel weariness. Where if you noticed on the map when I was walking around, ooh, a trap goblin, huh? Okay, we'll deal with him in a minute. Trap goblins put little booby traps all over the ground. And so they tend to clutter up the dungeon with traps that stop you, deal a bunch of damage like that right there. There we go, stun him up. There, we got him. There's no trap disarm skill from what I've seen so far. But anyways, watch out for traps. They frequently cripple you, and then you gotta use a splint on the wound in order to fix it. And so this area is probably chock full of booby traps if he's been wandering around. I am netted right here. No stun on the opening salvo, unfortunately. Cloth right there, though. Let me eat a boiled egg and a roasted haunch. Yeah, because we got a big bruiser guy coming in. I'd like to have energy regeneration. He's going to prep up a big hit right there. When it says he's preparing, that's his wind-up. He can hit you for like 30-plus damage, so watch out for that if you're low on health. You will want to pay attention to some of the cues that enemies give you. I don't know what's inside that cage over there, but now I'm curious and I want to know. Where was the switch at that opens the cage? Right there, on the opposite side. That's a thief goblin. They steal loot that's laying on the ground, so any loot bags that they see laying around, they'll try to loot them. They also sometimes have money on them. I'll save right here before we do this, because I don't know what's going to be in here. An ogre. A level 16 ogre. Okay. He's got reach. I don't know how strong he is, but we'll go ahead and give it a go. I'll put up my defensive mode, too.
Might die here.
Hit him again. Ow. Apparently he crippled me. And those do stack. You can get more than one of those. I've run out of my defensive mode. There's no way to... He's badly wounded right now. Oh no, that stun happened at a terrible time. Oh, we beat him with 14 health to spare. Let's go ahead and get rid of these cripples right here. Now that we've removed the cripples from our body. Oh, 5 ogre bones. Very nice. I can get the trade skill recipe to make that bone armor that guy, that rare vendor, is selling in town. I don't know if that fight was inherently worth it because we damaged our weapon with so many attacks, but this is Doors of Trithia. I think the game is great. It's utterly fantastic. It's kind of like a more lo-fi, more sandboxy version of Stone Shard. That's what it reminds me of. It's Stone Shard. The graphics aren't quite as good, but it...
Stone Shard. Let's look at that.
Today in the world of indie games, it's another checkup. I'm sorry, it's like super dead right now. And everything that has slid through has been like, kind of everything new right now is kind of unappealing to me. I don't know what it is, man. Maybe I'm not getting enough sleep. Maybe I'm not getting my nutrients. But lately, well, I mean, some things seem to be turning around. Anyway, welcome to the Nerd Castle. Today,
thank you, Spider
in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking back in on Stone Shard because they had a pretty big patch. Whether or not it counts as a content patch, I think, is up for debate, because technically it didn't add like any new monsters or anything to the game. But if you've never played Stone Shard before, it is a grimdark, open-world, medieval fantasy game that's got a setting very similar to something you would have seen in, like, Berserk. There's not a whole lot of happiness to go around in this setting. It's best described as bleak, and that makes it, like, perfect for me. I love bleak stuff. I would say that bleak is probably my favorite setting. So we're going to dive on in today. We're going to talk about the new patch and the new stuff and the new things that have been added. We're going to have a good time playing some video games. I'll introduce you to my new character. This time around, I'm playing Arna, the Hedge Knight. The Hedge Knight is actually built for two-handed counter blows at the moment. So this is kind of a low-effort build where I just, like, walk through the dungeon and counterattack everything to death. Not quite as active as some of the previous builds you've seen, but if after watching this you wanted to get Stone Shard for yourself, you can look down below in the description. Then, of course, on top of that, you can take a look down there for my Discord, just in case you wanted to hang out live. What am I doing right now? Well, I'm open-worlding right now. So I got a job to kill a bunch of bandits. And so I need to come down inside this dungeon over here, and I need to just absolutely bludgeon the hell out of everything that gets in my way. There's our first bludgeoning target right there. Put myself into counter blow mode, and as you can see, enemies go down pretty... So, like, this build is really rad, because I've got a super high chance to counter blow people, but every now and again, you get, like, a real streak of bad luck. Thus is the problem with RNG builds, is even if you really weigh RNG in your favor, it's only a matter of time until like 3 or 4 blows in a row don't get countered, and since that's where all my damage comes from, that's when I start to sweat and panic a little bit. And, you know, RNG, randomized numbers are streaky. That's just the way that they work, is most of the time fairly consistent. Sometimes not consistent at all. This guy is going to try to stab me with that pitchfork, so we need to get him right here. There we go. Normally, I don't particularly like to 2v1 like this. Luckily, that guy got a bleed and bled out, and then we managed to take down his friend too. But you want to use roguelike tactics in this game. So Stone Shard is not a game that's focused on like hyper-realism, but it is a game that I think draws a lot of inspiration from roguelikes and things of that nature. And so a lot of the metagame knowledge that's going to help you in a game like Caves of Cud or Cataclysm DDA or a game like Tales of Maj'Eyal is also going to help you here. That is to say, fighting 2 guys at once, it doesn't matter how much of a military badass you are by middle-aged standards. Fighting 2 guys at once is still putting you at a severe disadvantage, so you want to kind of pipeline them through choke points and whatnot. If
I would say, yep, fighting 2 guys at once is essentially... in almost any setting, each person is a reduction in your odds, right? So 2 guys at once, you have a 50% chance of winning. You got to understand how bleak that is. You know, 50%, that's not too good. That means like half the time you fucking lose, half the time. So one guy's already 50-50, excuse me. 2 guys, your chances of winning is like 25% or something. 3 guys is like 15, 4 guys is like 7. And you're looking at like, you know, your 7% chance of winning or something like that. Basically, you'd have to have somebody spraying them with a machine gun from the outside to stop it, you know. And the chances of that happening are like 7% or something like that. It's like maybe that might happen. Maybe a cop might come and bust them or start shooting them or something. That might happen. But it's pretty like low percentage-wise. So multiple opponents all the time kind of drives me crazy in modern PvP all the time. Like in Rust, I couldn't handle it. You were constantly up against like more people than you yourself could deal with, and if you got a kill, you would be grubbed by somebody else. And so it was like very bitter game where like every time you got to win, something really bad would usually happen too, though.
Manage it, which is what you saw right there. So, Stone Shard, what did it have added? Well, they just did what I consider to be. What I would call this is, I wouldn't call this a content patch. Instead, ooh, a vivifying essence or a vivifying essence? Nice, dude. Those are pretty rare, and they're pretty good, too. I like them. But what I would call this is not a quality of life patch, not really a content patch. Instead, I would call this a quality of health patch, and I think that every game deserves to get one of these every now and again. What I mean by a quality of health patch is that it is a dedicated patch that's been worked on for 3 or 4 months that serves to expand certain aspects of the gameplay while simultaneously looking to fix bugs, looking to clear up the UI, looking to increase the quality of life, the variety of gameplay, that kind of stuff. And that's basically what this patch was. You're not really going to find a ton of content in this patch. The only content to be spoken of, really, is the fact that they added a new skill tree, which we can actually find right here. So the skill tree is the one thing. They added the Armored Combat skill tree, which is effectively a whole bunch of skill points and a whole bunch of passives that incentivize the wearing of heavy armor and reward the player for wearing heavy armor, wearing light armor, wearing medium armor. That is good news, though, because, I mean, you'll recall the first time we covered this game, most of these categories were missing. And now, really, the only area that's missing anything substantial is sorcery. So I'm assuming there's got to be, like, a wizard patch coming up pretty soon that's going to focus on just making wizards great. That's an archer right there. I don't want to deal with him at all. He's going to shoot me with an arrow. Oh, that was sneaky. You actually found an angle. Look at you, man. There we go. He closed with his melee weapon because he knew I wasn't going to let him catch me. Don't let the archers in this game. They will 100% kite you to death. Don't let them do it. This game does have survival aspects. Although I guess I'll continue talking about what I was talking. I'm getting off subject here. So the only content they really added was that skill tree right there. However, there are other things that are debatably content, like a bunch of bug fixes, making things work a little bit better. And then on top of that, they also added 60 items to the game. And in those 60 items, you'll find everything from sellable treasures that have no other function to random foods. There are new armors and uniques that have been put in the game, so things that actually have like a name. A buddy of mine actually found one. I know a streamer named Tatersloth, and he DM'd me on Twitter because I was playing this on stream for a couple days straight and I didn't see any of the new uniques or anything, but he got one. And it was a Plague Doctor's mask that's like absurdly overpowered for dealing with gases and poisons and everything else like that. It's got a cool graphic, and so they are in there. They do exist, and so they've added some uniques and things too, along with all the bug fixes and adding new items and adding a new skill tree. So that's all good stuff right there. That guy right there is kind of a problem. So this little knife guy, he's got an ability where he forces me to swap positions.
Oh no.
With him, and it's kind of an issue because he can actually bleed me up pretty severely. And so there was the swap ability right there. He's trying to keep me back from the door. Okay, we got him, but we're bleeding pretty good. So we're gonna want to leave the arena real fast, and we're gonna need to wait this out. I don't think I have. Oh, I do have a bandage on me. Nice. This game does use the positional damage system that you've seen in other games, like Escape from Tarkov. You can get damage to your leg. You can get damage to your hand. You have to bandage it if you have a cut. If you get like a broken hand, you've got to use a splint on it, and it will heal up. I like these kinds of healing systems. I wish more games would use these kinds of healing systems. I find them very immersive. Some other people might think that like this does nothing but add drudgery to the game, but for me it makes it a lot more fun. I can't explain to you exactly why. I enjoy specificities in my game. I like games that have layered systems of depth inside.
I'm curious
of them.
to see what he thought of Scum.
I'm craving more and more complication from the things that I consume. Oh yeah, I forgot to sit around and rest for a minute. Let me sit around and rest for a minute, get my HP back before we fight the old pitchforker. Alright, the pitchforker, we're going to take him down now. 30 damage crit on the opening swing, very nice. Those knife guys are really, really, really dangerous in my experience. Like, those knife guys always make me a little tiny bit nervous whenever I have to fight them, because they are just so adept at stacking up like a bunch of bleeds to the point where you're like, they don't hit hard, but they stack up these damage over time effects that really get out of control if you don't stay on top of them. I do like how all the little knickknacks and everything are lootable in this game. Go ahead and pick the lock over here. I keep hoping that I'll end up, what is that, an antidote for poison? Might be helpful. I don't get like poison that often, but it might be a good assist. We got some earrings and things over here too. Where the boss at? Like, where's Big Boss Bandit at? Big Boss Bandit gotta get bashed. There's also a wizard over there to the right, which is the worst, dude. Wizards are rare, but a very real, tangible threat in this game. So wizardry kind of follows what you'd expect in this game from like D&D standards. Wizards start out incredibly weak and are crazy easy to annihilate when they're low level. But once they get up to like, level 5, level 6, they start to get some passives. They start to develop that spell book a little bit. They start chunking pretty good. I was hoping that I would find some food inside of here. I'm hoping I don't have to starve. Need to drag this wizard back though. Where's he at? There he is. Alright. Don't let this wizard shoot at you. I'm gonna let him catch up a little bit because I don't want him to lose me. Oh no, dude.
No.
It didn't do the door. I clicked on the door and it moved me instead. Clicking on doors in active combat is very ineffective in this game. Like, the selectivity could definitely be better. Alright, we got a wizard over here. He's gonna blast us a little bit. It's gonna feel like we're losing, but then he's gonna die instantly. That's the basic wizard template in this game. Is that, like, the first couple turns,
that
like,
was
when
the
you
class
first
I wanted to
make
play.
base contact and he opens up on you and he's like throwing everything he has at you. It's gonna feel a little scary. It's gonna feel a little scary. Your health bar is gonna go down, but you just gotta stay the course. That's the secret. Is you just gotta stay in it to win it. A staves treatise. So all skill trees in this game are learned from books. I'm kind of like lukewarm about this system. My experience has been, so I have about 100 hours in this game. I've played it quite a bit. My experience has been on 4 or 5 playthroughs that I almost never get the books I need for the skills that I'm focusing on for the build that I want to do, and I usually end up farming dungeons a lot to get the book that I want. There are booksellers, but they're also pretty random because there's a lot of books that can be bought inside the game, and so that's what that book does. It teaches you the tier 2 abilities for a staff. I need the tier 2 or the tier 3 abilities for a two-handed sword is what I need. I've never done a two-handed build in this game. I've done sword and board. I have done spears. I've done wizardry. I've done archery. Oh, he can hit 2 tiles, huh? Look at you over here being all good at your job. How would you like to be murdered? Because I can do that for you. I'll be your huckleberry. I can make that happen real sharp, my friend. We kind of need to go back to town, and I need to offload some of this gear. Oh yeah, they added, I forgot, they did add another bit of content to the game too. I didn't remember till I saw these. They added salvaging and repairing to the game now, which is great. That's actually really good because durability in this game is a massive drain on your finances, and anything that takes the edge off of durability loss, I'm fine with. I enjoy. So what we can do now is you can take these little weapon scrap parts and you can apply them to your various bits of gear. So if you've got like a bit of cloth, you can take it and apply it to your cloak. If you've got some armor scraps that are made out of leather, you can take them and you can put them on there. If you've got this right here, you can disassemble it and it will give you these, and then I can go boom.
95 gold. I think I've got another 100.
And
I think I've got another 30 or 40. Getting pretty good gold here. I don't know what I would spend it on. Oh, well, I need to identify and charge all these rings, which is a lot more expensive than I thought. Yeah, like that ring is super good, and I need to charge it, and it's expensive. It's like 5 gold each time. And there's some other stuff here. Yeah, and I want to charge all the stuff that I have now. I have all this money, but I'll take care of that tomorrow. Went to log out. This was a good session. No death or anything. No stupid stuff. I just made money and thrived and prospered. It was a fun. I'm enjoying Mortal. I think it actually is like a good niche game. I think I probably will play it a lot.
Durability, but they did add a salvage and repair system to the game, which
it is 5:45 really cool. In the morning, and I got kind of a late start yesterday, though not really, because I did a 2-hour thing on stream. But let me just double check how long I've been at it here. Yeah, with the 2 hours, yeah, it puts me at 11 and a half. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to go to bed here, and I want to say thank you guys. It's been a wonderful session. I've got a long day ahead of me and stuff, and Saturday is another day, and I plan to exercise today, so That kind of wipes me out a little bit more. And I want to say thank you so much for paying attention to me. Just a reminder, you've been watching Skycat Live, and this is my website. We're going to get back to tab here. And this is my website. Click on the cast face to donate if you're on YouTube, or come and sub to me on Twitch if you liked what you saw here, and I hope you like the MMO RPG lifestyle. And yeah, we played a lot of games today. I'm gonna bring my ships in and send them on home. Send them on back to port.
Active.
Let the cables sleep and let the ships sleep for the night, and go get some rest. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and so, you know, endlessly supporting me and all this stuff. And thank you so much. And so I'll be back tomorrow, more fresh-eyed and more bushy-tailed. Thank you so much for your time. I love you. Bye.